This is CS Neha Challa. So I'm here again with a new video, and in this video we would be doing a topic which is called Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. So we would be covering this video in about 15 to 20 minutes. So you will get a complete understanding about PFRDA. Authority 2013. Okay, so in India, we already have various kinds of pension schemes. So we have pension schemes like Employee Provident Fund, we have Public Provident Fund, we have various pension schemes offered by different banks and insurance companies. And then we have another new pension scheme, that is National Pension Scheme. And this has come into effect from 1st of January 2004. So our late Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee has gotten this National Pension Scheme. So what is the difference between the other schemes and this scheme is, here anybody can invest. In EPF, only employees can contribute. In PPF, anybody can do except NRIs and HUFs. And here there is a maximum limit also of rupees 1.5 lakh per year. But we do not have all these limitations in National Pension Scheme. So here anybody who wants to reap the benefits after they retire from their job and who want regular income can invest into this National Pension Scheme. So let's see what happens in National Pension Scheme and how does it work. So PFRDA, under PFRDA, this is the authority which looks into the National Pension Scheme. So this National Pension Scheme, how does it work? That is what we're going to see. So there is an employee, and an employee can be anybody. He can be an employee, he can be a business person, he can be anyone. So any person who wants to contribute to this NPS can go to this point of presence. Now, what is this point of presence? These are banks or these are financial institutions. So a person whoever wishes to contribute to this NPS scheme, he can go to this point of presence and he can give his contributions to that particular banks or financial institutions. So as we know, banks are available everywhere, just right next to your house, in your lane also you will find banks. So that is the reason point of presence is chosen to be a bank, so that people cannot go need not travel to long distances in order to contribute the money over there. So anybody can go to this point of presence, and once the contributions are given to POPs, these POPs will give your contributions to pension fund managers. Who are these pension fund managers? So earlier there were 8 pension fund managers. Now there are only 7 pension fund managers. Now who are these 7? There is SBI Pension Fund Private Limited, there is HDFC, there is Kotak, there is ICICI, there is UTI, and there is Birla. So these 7 people are pension fund managers as per PRFDA. So suppose a person called A is making his contributions to this POP, and he has decided that he would choose SBI Pension Fund Private Limited as his pension fund manager. So SBI will manage the contributions that he's paying. So the POP will pass on his contributions to SBI. So as per the person's choice among these 7, he can choose any as his pension fund manager. So what does these pension fund managers do? They contribute, they invest the money that they are receiving from various people Like A, there will be a lot of people who are contributing to these POPs, right? So whoever has chosen these pension fund managers, all the money that they get, they can contribute into two plans. Either they can contribute into government securities or minimum assured returns. So this is also as per the NPS scheme, whatever is given by PFRDA, they will invest there. So where does the pension fund manager has to invest, your contribution can also be decided by you. Suppose A has decided SBI as his pension fund manager, and he also said that he only wants SBI to invest in government securities, then SBI will, on behalf of A, invest his money in government securities only. So as per the mechanism, you can see the clear authority is given to the person. There is a lot of choice given to the person who is contributing this to this particular scheme, right? So another thing is there is another agency called Central Record Keeping Agency. Central Record Keeping Agency. So now what does this agency do? This agency keeps track of all the information about you. How much are you contributing? How much are you taking? Everything, all your KYC, everything will be maintained by this CRA also. Right now, the CRA is NSDL, that is National Securities Depository Limited. So this is how the architecture of NPS works. So moving on, now we will be talking about, suppose there is a person. If he wants to invest in this NPS, he will have to make an application to our Central Record Keeping Agency. This Central Record Keeping Agency will give him a number called PRAN. What is PRAN? PRAN is a permanent retirement account number. So this is permanent retirement account number. So you will be getting only one PRAN number in your lifetime. So even if you want to change your employment from one company to another company, or you want to change anything, you want to change one fund manager to another fund manager, you want to change your plans also, you can just code this PRAN number and you can do it. So you need not open more than one NPS account. So everything will be dealt by your PRAN. So once you get this PRAN, two types of accounts will be opened on your name. Okay. So the first type is called Tier 1 account, and the second type is called Tier 2 account. Okay. So whatever is there in Tier 1 account is not withdrawable, and whatever is there in Tier 2 account can be withdrawn. That too, only 25%. So whatever money you have contributed, that is called accumulated balance. All the accumulated balance will be in Tier 1 account. So out of this Tier 1 account, 25% of your money will be transferred to Tier 2 account, and you can withdraw that money only for some specified reasons that are mentioned in the NPS. Okay, for illness, for injury, there are some reasons. Only for these reasons you can withdraw the amount. And this 25% also you can only withdraw if 3 years have been passed since the time you have started your NPS. Okay, so this is how the accounts work. So moving ahead, suppose you have already you're with the NPS scheme for about 10 years. So after 10 years, you want to withdraw. So then you can withdraw, but you can only withdraw 20% as lump sum and other 80% you have to purchase some annuity plans. Okay. So now what are these annuity plans? These annuity plans are provided to you by annuity service providers. So as per these annuity service providers plans, you can choose any one of the plan as per your choice, and that is how you can withdraw the 80%. What is annuity plan? It is nothing but a monthly benefit. Suppose you want in the initial months more amount, and in the next years you want less amount, you can choose that annuity plan. Or you want more money now, less money now and more money in future, you can choose as per your requirements. So that is annuity plan. Here it is not given in lump sum, it is given per year or per month basis. So these annuity service providers, currently there are 12 annuity service providers as per PFRDA. Okay, so again, once there is a person who is retiring, so this is a retired person, what can he do? All the money that he has in tier 1 plus tier 2, obviously he's investing all this money just to take the benefits after his retirement, because he won't be having monthly income, right? So what he can do, all the money that he has, all the accumulated money he has, he can take it as lump sum, but only up to 60%. Okay, the minimum of 40%, minimum of 40% can only be taken by the annuity plans. Okay, so he'll have to purchase this annuity plans from this same ASPs. Now one more thing, if the accumulated balance that he has in the account is less than rupees 2 lakhs, then he can take the entire amount as lump sum. He need not invest in buying these annuity plans. So that is what happens once a person retires. So moving on, let's see what these point of presence, what are their activities. So the person will obviously pass on the instructions to POPs only. Like he can tell, this is my fund manager, this is where I want to invest. Everything, his point of communication is only POP. He does not have to contact the pension fund managers. So what this POP does, it gives all the instructions to that the person has given to central record keeping agencies. Okay, and this person also gives contributions to POP, right, every month or every year. So these contributions will be passed on by the POP to the pension fund managers. Okay, so this is what POP does. And this whole pension fund managers, these are managed by a trustee bank. And right now the trustee bank is Axis Bank. Okay. So, and when the person retires, he will be getting back the money. So the money is again given by the POPs directly. They do not have to again contact anybody else. So this is how the POPs function. And also talking about foreign shareholding. So in these pension fund managers companies, so these are basically 7 companies. So in these 7 companies, the foreign shareholding can be less than or equal to 49%. So it cannot be more than 49%. Also talking about our pension fund regulatory and development authority, it keeps issuing eligibility norms, and it also gives certificate of registration. To whom? It gives all the norms and certificate of registration to our pension fund managers, to central record keeping agencies, to our POPs, and to also the trustee bank. So whenever the PFRDA wants to revoke any person's license, any of these companies' license, be it wants to change the central record keeping agencies, be it wants to remove any point of presence, it can do by issuing these norms. Also, before we had 8 pension fund managers, I told you, Reliance was also one of them. And recently, their certificate of registration has been revoked by PFRDA. Also, the Central Record Keeping Agency right now is NSDL. All the records, all the documents, all the assets that NSDL has belongs to our PFRDA. So in future, if PFRDA wants to change our depository to from NSDL to CDSL, it can comfortably do. And at that point of time, whatever records that NSDL is having, it will have to transfer. It cannot say this is my record, so I will not give it to you. That kind of situation will not come, because it has clearly mentioned that whatever records that are with our CRA are the assets of PFRDA. So that is about this PFRDA 2013. I hope this video helped you in understanding this concept. Also, if you are preparing for CMA Inter, once you watch my video, you can do the material of the institutes and you will be able to understand each and every point. So I hope you liked the video. Please like, comment, and share this video. All the best. Thank you.